Why thinking in English changes everything. My name is Scarlet. I want to tell you a story. This story is about how I changed the way I learn English. For a long time, I studied English every day. I watched English videos on YouTube. I read small English books. I wrote many new words in my notebook. I learned grammar rules like do and does or is and are. I practiced English a lot, and I thought I was doing well. But something felt wrong. When people spoke to me in English, I became nervous. I could understand the words, but my brain stopped. First, I heard the English words, then I changed them into my language to understand. After that, I thought of an answer in my language and changed it back into English. This took too much time. My answers came late. Sometimes I said nothing at all. It was not easy. I felt sad and slow. I didn't know why this was happening. One day, I was at a museum in my town. A tourist came to me and asked, "How far is the main street from here?" I understood the question. I knew the meaning of how far and main street, but I froze. My brain started to translate. I looked for words in my mind. I tried to answer. But before I could speak, the man walked away. I felt very embarrassed. I went home and asked myself, why can't I speak fast? Why is it so hard for me? That night, I remembered something my English teacher said to me many years ago. She said, fluent English is not just about knowing words. It is about thinking in English. At that time, I didn't understand her words. But now, those words made sense. I understood the real problem. My brain was still using my first language. Even though I read English books, watched English videos, and practiced English words, my thoughts were still in my native language. I was trying to live in English on the outside, but not on the inside. That night, I made a decision. I told myself, Scarlet, if you want to speak English better, you must think in English. It sounded difficult. I didn't know how to begin, but I wanted to try. The next morning, I woke up and looked around my room. I started with small things. I looked at my bed and thought, this is my bed. Then I looked at the window and said in my mind, that is my window. I looked at my blanket and thought, my blanket is blue. I didn't say the words out loud. I only thought them in English. It was quiet thinking, but it felt new. Later, while I brushed my teeth, I said in my head, I am brushing my teeth. My toothpaste is minty. The water is cold. These were easy sentences. I already knew the words. But now, I was using them in my daily life. It felt different. It felt good. That day, I walked outside and looked around. I saw a tree and thought, the tree is tall. The leaves are green. I saw a dog and said, the dog is small. I did not use my first language. I did not translate. I tried to stay in English. My brain did not fight me. It did not feel tired. It felt fun. I felt like a small child learning to talk for the first time. For the first time, English was not only something I studied, it was becoming something I lived with. At home, I wrote small notes and put them on the mirror, the table, and the door. I wrote the names of things in English: mirror, door, chair, toothbrush. Every time I looked at those things, I read the English word. I made a small English space in my room with books, paper, and simple phrases. When I sat there, I only used English in my mind. Sometimes, I didn't know the right word in English. One day, I saw a bird sitting on a wire. But I didn't know the word wire. I almost used my native word. But then, I stopped myself. I thought, the bird is sitting on a black line. Maybe it is a rope. My sentence was not perfect, but it stayed in English. That was a success. I learned that I don't need to know all the perfect words. I just need to keep using the English I already know. After 1 week, something special happened. When I looked at a chair, my brain said chair right away. I didn't need to translate. When I was hungry, I didn't think, I'm hungry in my first language. I thought it in English. Even my dreams started to change. One night, I dreamed I was at a supermarket. I asked a worker, where is the sugar? When I woke up, I smiled. It was the first time I dreamed in English. It felt like magic. I felt proud. That moment showed me that my brain was starting to change. English was slowly becoming a part of me. Thinking in English helped me feel more free, more confident, and more happy. And that was only the beginning. How speaking to yourself builds confidence. After I started thinking in English, something inside me began to change. My brain was slowly learning to stop translating. I could look at things and name them in English. I could describe simple actions in my head. I felt proud of this progress. But I still felt something was missing. Thinking was silent. I wanted to speak. I wanted to hear my voice in English. I wanted to sound natural and confident. So one morning, I tried something new. I stood in front of my mirror and whispered, "My hair is long. It looks shiny today. I need to wash it tomorrow." I didn't say the words loudly. I was alone. My voice was soft and slow, but hearing myself speak in English felt powerful. It felt more real than just thinking. That small moment gave me a big idea. What if I talked to myself in English every day? At first, it sounded strange. People say talking to yourself is silly, but I wasn't being silly. I was training my brain. I wanted to speak better. I wanted to speak faster. I wanted to feel comfortable using English at any time. So I began a new habit. I started speaking to myself every day. I started with small things. I went to the kitchen and said, "I am going to make some tea." I opened the drawer and said, "I need a spoon." I picked up a cup and said, "This is my favorite cup." I boiled water and said, "The water is hot now." These were very simple sentences, but they helped me build confidence. Throughout the day, I continued talking to myself. While folding my clothes, I said, "This shirt is clean." "These pants are soft." While cleaning my room, I said, "I should throw away this paper." "I don't need it." When I went outside, I whispered, "The weather is nice today. It's not too cold." At first, I had to remind myself to speak in English. My brain still wanted to go back to my first language. But I didn't give up. I wrote small notes on my phone that said, "Speak in English or don't translate." These notes helped me stay focused. As I spoke to myself more, I started to enjoy it. I didn't care about grammar. I didn't worry about making mistakes. I just wanted to keep using English. Slowly, my brain started to think and speak in the same language. Before, my brain thought in my native language, and I had to change the words into English. Now, both my thoughts and my voice were in English. It felt amazing. Sometimes, I didn't know a word. But I didn't stop. I found a way to describe it. One day, I forgot the word vacuum cleaner, so I said, "The machine that cleans the carpet." It was not perfect, but it worked. Another time, I forgot the word hanger, so I said, "The thing I use to hang my shirt." I didn't stop speaking. I didn't switch back to my native language. I kept going. That was a big win for me. To make it more fun, I created small games. While cooking rice, I said, "Now I'm going to make some rice. First, I will wash it. The water is cloudy. That means it is dirty. Now I pour the water out. Now I will cook it. I hope I don't burn it like last time." I laughed at myself. It was fun. I was talking about simple things, but I was doing it in English. One day, I pretended I had a YouTube channel. I didn't record anything, but I turned on my phone camera and said, "Hello everyone, welcome to my kitchen. Today, I will show you how to make my special tea. First, we take the water, then we add some ginger. Now we boil it." I acted like a real host. I smiled, I laughed, I forgot some words, but I kept going. I was learning and enjoying at the same time. Another day, I sat in front of the mirror and practiced a short conversation. I said, "Hi, my name is Scarlet. Nice to meet you. How are you?" Then I answered as another person, "I'm good, thank you." "What do you do?" I replied, "I'm a student." I love learning languages. I added hand gestures and facial expressions. I wanted to feel natural. I wanted to prepare for real conversations by making fake ones. The more I did this, the more I changed. When someone spoke English to me, I didn't freeze. I didn't feel afraid. My brain was ready. The words came faster. My voice felt stronger. My answers felt natural. Of course, not every day was easy. Some days, I felt tired. On those days, I didn't talk a lot. But I still said one sentence like, "Today I feel sleepy." That was enough to keep the habit alive. I learned something important. Speaking to myself in English was not a performance, it was a quiet promise. A promise to keep going, a promise to grow. Even when I was around people, I continued. I whispered under my mask. I looked out the window and said in my mind, "The sky is grey today. That man is walking fast." These small sentences helped me stay inside English. Then, something special happened. One day in the park, I saw a tourist family looking for directions. I walked up and asked, "Do you need help?" They said, "Yes. Can you tell us how to get to the Central Library?" I didn't think. I didn't translate. I just said, "Go straight down this road, then turn right at the traffic light. It's the big building with blue glass windows." The words came quickly. I felt proud. That night, I said to myself, "Scarlet, this is working. Keep going," and I did. How to make English a part of you. After I practiced thinking in English and speaking to myself every day, something changed inside me. I was no longer afraid to use English. I didn't need to wait for the perfect word or the perfect time. English was starting to become part of my daily life. It was not only something I studied, it was something I used to live. I started doing simple things in English. I made my to-do list in English. I wrote things like, wash the dishes, call mum, buy apples, watch English video. It felt good to see English in my real life. It helped me stay connected to the language all day. I also started texting my friends in English. At first, they were surprised. They asked, "Why are you writing in English?" I told them, "I am training my brain to think in English. Can you help me?" Some of them joined me. We made a small challenge. Let's text only in English for one day. That one day became two, then more. We also sent voice messages in English. We made mistakes, but we laughed and learned together. I also watched simple shows and cartoons in English. I didn't understand every word, but I didn't stop. I kept watching. I used subtitles in English to help me understand better. Sometimes, I repeated funny lines out loud. I tried to speak like the characters. It was fun and helped me learn the natural way people speak. I also listened to English songs and sang along. It didn't matter if my voice was good. It was about feeling the rhythm and sound of the language. One song had the line, "Don't stop believing." I sang it again and again until it became part of my thinking. One morning, I woke up with that line in my head. That's when I knew something was changing. English was living inside me. I created new habits to keep learning. Every night before bed, I wrote 3 to 5 sentences in a small journal. I called it my simple English journal. I wrote things like, "Today was a sunny day." I drank tea in the morning. I saw a cute dog in the park. The dog was white and small. These were not big or smart sentences, but they were true. They were my life in English. Every sentence was a small step, a small win. I also gave myself daily missions. One day, I chose the theme colors. I said things like, "The sky is light blue. My t-shirt is dark green. I love the color yellow." Another day, I chose feelings. I said, "I feel calm. That child looks excited. I'm a little tired." These small themes helped me focus and made learning fun. I wasn't bored. I was growing. I made a rule for myself. 1 hour every day, I would live only in English. I called it my English hour. During that time, I did everything in English. I thought, spoke, and listened in English. I even made food and talked to myself while cooking. I said, "I need to eggs. Where is the butter? I'm making toast again. Maybe I should eat fruit." These small sentences helped me feel strong and confident. Even when I went outside, I continued. I looked around and said in my head, "That woman is wearing a red jacket. The man is walking fast. I think he is late." I didn't need a classroom. The world was my classroom. Every street, every store, every moment became a place to practice. I went to the grocery store and spoke to the cashier in English. I said, "Hi, how are you?" Even if they didn't speak English back, it didn't matter. I was building my habit. I was training myself. Sometimes, I played games with myself. While cooking dinner, I named all the things I used: knife, spoon, plate, tomato, onion, salt. Then I made a short story. The tomato met the onion in the bowl. They danced with salt and pepper. I laughed, but I kept going. I was not only learning, I was enjoying. Soon, something amazing happened. I didn't need to try to think in English anymore. It just happened. I woke up and thought, what day is it today? I answered myself, it's Tuesday. I need to do laundry. I didn't translate. I didn't stop. It felt natural. I also started dreaming in English more often. Sometimes, I had short conversations in my dreams. When I woke up, I smiled. My brain was changing. My mind was accepting English as part of my real life. I was not learning English like a student. I was living it like a person. One day, I looked in the mirror and said to myself, this is the new you. You don't wait for English, you live it. That moment felt strong. I felt proud. I didn't need perfect grammar. I didn't need big words. I needed simple words and a brave heart. Every time I chose to speak, think, or write in English, I was choosing growth. Now, I still make mistakes. I still forget words. But I don't stop. I keep going. Because English is not just a language to me, it is a part of who I am. It is a friend I carry with me every day, and that is the best feeling in the world. Scarlet's journey began with confusion and frustration. She studied English every day. She watched videos, wrote vocabulary, and learned grammar. But when it was time to speak, she felt stuck. Her brain translated every word from her native language to English. This made her slow, nervous, and unsure of herself. She felt like English was a wall she could never climb. Then one day, something changed. Scarlet understood that the real problem was not her grammar or her vocabulary. The real problem was inside her mind. She was still thinking in her first language. So she made a simple but powerful decision: to think in English. At first, she just used her thoughts. She named things around her in English. Then she began to speak quietly to herself. She described her daily activities: brushing teeth, cooking food, folding clothes. She didn't wait for the perfect sentence. She used easy words and trusted her small English voice. Soon, English became a part of her. She used it while shopping, texting friends, and watching shows. She laughed at her mistakes and kept going. She didn't feel shy anymore. She even dreamed in English. Day by day, she became stronger. English was no longer just a subject. It was her tool, her companion, her new way of thinking. Scarlet's story teaches us something important. You don't need to be perfect to speak a language. You don't need big words to sound smart. What you need is courage, daily practice, and kindness to yourself. English is not about impressing people. It's about expressing yourself, simply and honestly. So, how can you use this in your life? Start small. Talk to yourself in English every day. Think about what you see, feel, and do. Write one sentence in English each night. Use easy words, but use them often. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how you grow. And now, congratulations. You listen to the full story in English. That means your brain has already practiced English for many minutes. You're not just learning English, you are living it just like Scarlet. Here's a fun question for you to answer. What helped Scarlet the most in her journey to fluency? A. Watching English videos all day. B. Thinking and speaking in English during daily life. Comment your answer, or B. Let us know in the comments. If this story helped you improve your English, please subscribe to our channel. Your support gives us the energy to keep creating helpful and inspiring content for you. Also, if you want to support our work, please consider sending a small donation. In the beginning, it's very hard to create high-quality content for free. But we do it to help you learn English better, and every small support helps us grow. Thank you for listening. Keep thinking in English. Keep speaking, keep growing.